Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I got my friend Bob here before. I'm actually going to pull you off for a second, Bob, and then I'm going to pull you back on. Hey, you guys, it's so nice to see you. I have a great show for you today. So, if you've been watching this week, we have been giving you all these different sessions of coaching around this conversation um, around there's different ways to make money. And the thing that I would say as a coach is most struggling for a lot of people is they don't know what to price themselves at. They're not sure that it's going to come together. How many of you guys right now just put me in the chat if you're already in a conversation where you're like, I know it's going to come together, but you have moments of self-doubt, right? You have moments. I'm working a new movement right now that I have moments of self-doubt, and those moments of self-doubt get inside your head. And so if that's you, put me in the chat right now. If you can just be humble for a moment and let us know, do you have moments of self-doubt? Do you ever struggle with not knowing what to price yourself? Or let's even talk about this. How many of you guys, you still are not confident in the product or service you're selling? If you're not, just put it, just put a P. Put a P for product, right? If you're still not sure about the product or service that you're selling is going to scale, like it's going to really transform the world and scale, put a P in the chat right now. Good morning, y'all. How are you? Woo woo! So good. Okay, so there's some of you guys, you're a little nervous about your product or service. You got a little bit of pricing challenges. Okay, can you guys do me a favor and share this real quick if you're on Facebook, at least on our Facebook page. I know that people are watching on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Facebook groups. Hi, everybody. So good. Okay, so today's show is about not having one stream of income. You're like, Shanda, come on. But having a couple streams of income. Also about the fact that you have no excuse to not bring money into your household. You guys all know that Christmas is coming, right? Like the holidays are coming.
What?
I mean, you can't stop it. It's kind of like having a baby. You can't stop it. I wish when I had my son, I remember thinking, if I could just be as committed as I am with having this baby, like it's coming no matter what, I can't stop it. I could only imagine how much less stress I would have because you don't have a choice but to go all in. So I'm going to bring Bob up, and Bob and I are going to talk about how the heck did he figure out when he didn't have a product, he didn't have a service, how did he figure out how to make money, like now, not in like 6 years from now, like in a couple months, and generate not just some money, but life-changing money? And then like, what could you be doing to create a multiple stream of income off today's training? So I want to welcome you to Shanda On Demand. I'm going to bring up Bob right now. And hi, Bob, how are you?
Hi. Good. I'm really good. Thanks.
So good. So Bob, first of all, just give them a little bit of a background in the essence of when you met our coaching, right? Were you searching for building a business? Like what was happening?
Well, what was happening is I had already paired with somebody who was an expert. So I'm already doing what we're going to talk about here in a little while. And we had paired up because I had certain skills to put things together, and she had certain skills she had a killer program that I knew would sell. She was already selling it for 20 years, right? So there was no question. Yeah. It was just finding the audience. So when I met
you guys, everybody write this down. Everybody write this down for a second. Grab piece of paper and pen, write this down. Number one is if you're going to partner with someone, and we're going to explain this because you guys, there's people leaving money on the table right now. Okay, seriously. So number one is you need a product that you know will work. Like you know that if people bought it, they're gonna stick because the product actually works. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, so you have skills. You meet this woman who is helping children with ADHD. She's incredible. And you're like, okay, I don't have to create a product. This woman's already done that work. Yeah. I just have to figure out how to find the people, right? Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. And then I met, I went into HCL because my brother had passed away and I was dealing with that. It was really hard for me and I knew I needed something. So I went into HCL, came out of HCL and found out that, Pace was available and Pace at the time, which is now Mentor Me Live, had was all about finding the audience. I knew I needed an audience. It's like that was the one, I thought it was the one missing piece, and it was. And so we went into Pace, did my 21-day summit in 45 days, and had 3,300 people, and
That's huge, you guys, by the way. If I was to run ads, just make sure that you don't tune out. So you said 3,300 people. If you spent $12, a lead on Facebook ads, right? That's for real. It costs you 39,600. So if you literally went and hired a Facebook team or an Instagram team, and YouTube, by the way, is more expensive than that, to actually run ads to a lead gen, like an ebook or a course or something, it would cost you what I say, 36 or 39.
Not only that, but those people are browsing. I call them browsers. They're not even interested in their product. They're kind of flipping through, and you might get one or two here and there. But people that are on email lists, those are people are seekers, right? And they are the ones that are looking for your product, and they're engaged in the solution. So way better.
That's so good. So this is important, because a lot of times people waste hours, years, and months on trying to get the perfect message. How many guys out there right now that it's like, you know that you've wasted time in your business? Put me in the chat. You know that you've wasted time in your business.
Can I put me?
And what?
Can I put me in the chat?
Yeah, I mean, because what happened, it's really easy. It's really easy to have shiny object syndrome, because you'll see somebody win, and let's be honest, business owners or people who are going to become business owners or C-level executives or people who are ballers inside of corporate America or pro athletes, they're driven. And when they see somebody succeed, there's a part of them that comes alive, and they go, oh, I could probably do that. Like there's almost like this connection point that says, hold on, I'm supposed to create a result like that. And so what happens is you start to chase the shiny object syndrome, when really what you need is a good product that people will reoccurringly buy. And then you need traffic, which is a buyer's audience. And what most people do is they go, I got to get my signature talk. I got to figure out my message. I mean, I got to get good at sales. And all of that's important. I got to figure out my niche. Oh my God, I can't go unless I figure out, like I'm telling you, you can figure out your niche over the next year and make hundreds of thousands of dollars and still not know what your niche is. Mm-hmm. Right. And so you partnered with this woman, Alba, who's amazing. And she's helping kids with ADHD.
And adults, yeah.
And adults. The adults came after, though, didn't they?
Yeah, it did. Yes.
Yeah, so this is what I mean, the evolution of the message. Like it started with kids and then it evolved. So that's a message for all of you guys right now that think you need to get it perfect. You don't. You just need to go. You need to just get started, keep working every single day. And did you ever do anything with ADHD before, Bob?
No, I didn't. In fact, in the process of working with her, I learned that my dad and my brother and probably me had ADHD. And so we were living our life, our lives having all these things, alcoholism, drug abuse, all this other stuff in my family, and never knew that ADHD was a culprit. And I found that out in this process. So it was pretty eye-opening.
That's huge. So, and you guys, you can always reach out to Bob. You can see his name at the bottom of the screen. If you know somebody or that you're dealing with something like that, you can always reach out to him. You can find him on our pages. If you can't find him, you're always welcome to message me. I'm always on Instagram and Facebook. You can always message me and I'll connect you with Bob if you can't find him. But try and find him first before you fill up my inbox trying to find him. Yeah. But I share that with you because I think you just dropped a mic drop there, and I could feel that somebody or some people need to connect with you and find out more about that piece. Yeah. So, but what I want to blow up is people's limiting beliefs. And there is all this lack of urgency. And I'm crazy about lack of urgency because it means we're wasting our time. And our time is so valuable. And there's so many people who pull back in business because of overwhelm and time issues. But yet, the truth is that Like you didn't even, like this was, you started selling a product that isn't even something that you had any masterfulness of. You do now because you've been in it, right? But you had no masterfulness of this. And I think
No.
it's really important that
Eh, eh,
people also realize you haven't even been doing it that long, a couple years, right? And just, of course, this isn't a money claim, you guys, but like, what type of money did you, like, when did you start making money after you figured out, I'm going to go build the buyer's list, right? And then I'm going to sell her product to change the world.
Yeah.
How quick did you start making money?
Well, it would have been faster. So it was within 6 months, we were making 10 grand a month, right? But it would have been faster if my mom hadn't passed away between the two summits, right? And that was a really hard experience too. So I went, summit and then dealt with my mom passing, which was really hard, and then went right into another summit and then into your mastermind where you showed us how to stack and offer, and that's a whole different story. So, it was a very tumultuous time, but very amazing.
Yeah, but I think about that, Bob, and I know there's people watching right now that have been in business for 6 months and they're not making $10,000 a month.
No.
You know what I mean? Because there's still a lack of urgency that says I still have to figure it out. I still have to figure something out, right? And by the way, when Bob says like a summit, we teach that on trainmeshanda.com. I put the URL there if anybody wants it. But there's a free video on there that you can go watch. We're not going to ask you for your name, phone number, anything like that. You can go watch it, and you'll see what Bob did, right? And what I did to break free, because I spent a lot of time thinking I was going to create a membership site, and I came out of corporate America. I thought, I know I've got something to add. I'm not like, I'm driven, I'll do the work, but I found that I was spinning in my first year in business. I made $2,000 in a whole year, and I had a business partner. And because I wasn't confident, I didn't have a business partner because I was smart like you. And I thought, oh, I'm going to take a hat off and sell somebody else's product, and I'll go do the lead generation of it. I had another partner, and I know there's some of you guys out here, I partnered because I wasn't confident. And I felt like I needed more content because I had a worthiness issue. How many guys does that relate to? Put a W in the chat, because I think it's important for people to see that. Put a W if you ever have felt like you've been held back because of a worthiness conversation. So Bob, what type of, first of all, how long since you started selling somebody else's product? Like, was that 2 years ago? Was that 5 years ago?
2018 we started, and 2019 is when I did my first summit. 2020 is when like the week before everything shut down, we went virtual, and that's the week we started selling and making money. It was just kind of.
You were actually in our last mastermind before COVID hit, because I remember like everybody was getting sick, right? And we were just like, none of us thought the whole world was going to shut down. We're like, it's so funny how you just don't know. But Bob and his partner started making $3,000 an hour in that mastermind. What was the sales thing that tipped for you? Because I know a lot of people are following this. If you guys want to learn how to build a buyer's list, then that's a smart thing for you to learn, right? But Bob had finished that step. They were starting to make money. And they were kind of stuck where they were plateauing, where nobody was buying. How many guys have had that experience? No one's buying. Put an X in the chat. That will tell me that nobody was buying, or is nobody buying. And so we gave you a little tweak. And if I've got a Mentor Me Live client watching right now, and you have not booked your ticket to the Tampa Mastermind in November, you need to do that today. Okay, because this is what happened in the mastermind. It was a second in coaching with the group. What happened? What shifted?
Well, you showed us how to stack, and that stack our offer stack. And what that meant is that we had an offer, and then we had added bonuses to it. So you took us through this whole exercise around it. And that did two things, really. First of all, it gave us a more perceived value to the customer. We were actually three things. We were also using our old summits as a bonus, right? So that we get 72 videos or 72 interviews, right? And so that's valuable. And the third thing it did, it raised our confidence about selling our product, right? I think that was probably the best one, really, because now we're like, wow, this is really valuable. We can totally do this, right? And we were talking like that on the phone, right? like you said, the mindset, it's all about the mindset, really.
Yeah. So everybody, for everybody to be able to apply that, I took them through an exercise at the mastermind where I said, here's your offer, share your offer, write your offer down. And then it was what can you add to the offer that you feel so fired up? So for instance, this is not an offer for you guys, but I was going to make an offer, I don't know, where you could come sit in my office here and I'll show you how to build a buyer's list, right? And you could come do this. And this is not an offer. So just, I want you to know that. But say I felt like, okay, I mean, I think it was last month I showed people how you could sell VIP days and I did it like off of Facebook Live like this and sold 6. And then I was like, I stopped because I have 3 of them, by the way, that I'm delivering this week, right? And it's, for me, it kills my calendar, but I wanted to show people how it was possible. But say I felt insecure. How many of you guys feel insecure about your pricing? Put me. And so I felt insecure, if I felt insecure about my pricing, which Bob, so if Bob or you or anybody watching, if you can't sell something, right, or people aren't buying, it is because there's something in your leadership that you cannot drive it forward because it's almost like you're still in a getting mode and you got to hack that. And so what I said to Bob, I was like, what do you add to your offer that truly is a huge benefit to the people? Now, some of my clients will do a list building activity where they do an interview series and this, that, and the other, where, hold on, I gotta tell them to stop that for a second, where they don't feel like their interviews are valuable. Let me just stop this. Stop. Where they don't feel like their interviews are valuable. Mm-hmm. But you didn't. You thought that the interviews you did were such a great masterclass that he added it to his bonuses. So if I have a Mentor Me Live client watching right now, there's power to making an offer for your regular offer and then adding all your recordings to it, right? Or taking 5 of them and making them a masterclass. Now, if you guys are like, I don't know what she's talking about, it could be as easy as this. Say I was selling a day with me to come sit in my office. And I was like, gosh, I want to sell it for $20,000. I want to sell it for $10,000. But like, who's going to pay that? And I have to sit there and think, well, what can I add to it? Well, what would be the insecurity of the buyer? Well, what if they can't do anything with the VIP day? Right? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can add 30 days of coaching to it. Or maybe I could add a check-in call in 60 days to catch any breakdowns. Maybe I could add a sales training. Like we have sales training, something called the club that we created during the pandemic because our sales stopped, just like Bob stopped. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, were you gonna say something?
I want to add something. So what we did was we took our survey and we had asked them, what are the biggest challenges with ADHD? Of course, behavior was number 1, and we were already addressing that. And we said number 2 was executive function. Number 3 was like supplements and health. And we thought, oh, what if we just did an interview series with 2 of our experts that we're already connected with on executive function and health, offered them as a mini training as a bonuses, and that's what we ended up doing.
Right? No, that's so good because you listened to your customer or client. So now your bonuses made sense. Yeah. So everybody write that down because there's 2 ways of approaching that. You could think, what would be your insecurity or your client or your customer's insecurity? Add those as bonuses. He listened to the survey and the survey told him what their insecurities were, which are the biggest challenges. And all he did was go do interviews to provide the counseling. Because y'all, if you're going to go to a therapist, it's going to cost you some money. If you're going to go to a coach, it's going to cost you some money. And so don't undervalue your ability to transform somebody's life, especially in the area that they care about. Is this helping you guys? Put yes if it is. Put yes if it's helping you. Okay, so Bob, give them some advice real quick about how you go about partnering with somebody if you don't want to create a product or your product sucks and you have realized that you maybe are never going to be great at creating a product, or you just want a multiple stream of income and you'll sell it. You'll sell it to your email list, your text message list, your social media list, whatever, you'll sell it. And so what advice would you give that you've learned now about going out and approaching somebody to actually become a partnership?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give all my secrets away here. So get ready. So this is really good. So And you're absolutely going to love this. You'll probably get chills when I talk to you about it. So you're on the phone, right? You're calling your speakers. You're talking to your speakers. Some qualify. They have big lists. They have a program that's going on, and the program is selling like hotcakes. And they may have an affiliate program. First of all, that's your first opportunity to make money. Is even if you're doing the summit, you're not an expert. You don't know what you're doing. You can affiliate with them and work with them and sell their product afterwards. I've got a guy, we just started a new product. I did a co-host with Carolina Freitas. She just went through HCL. VSP is to create a summit by August 30th.
By the way, you guys who don't know what HCL is, it's our leadership program. So if you have challenges trying to get out of your own way, you can put HCL in the chat and we'll reach out to you and share it with you, because a confused mind does nothing. So whenever he says HCL, it's a leadership program that unleashes you. So if you need that, put HCL in the chat. We'll tell you what it is, but I don't want you to get like confused on what he was saying. So keep going. So you're interviewing these people. This woman's going through leadership.
Yeah, and I partnered with her because she wanted to do the summit, and I was going to co-host with her, and we wound up co-producing it together. And long story short, there was a couple people on there that had products. We asked them about if they had an affiliate program. They did, and we're actually literally promoting. In fact, today is their workshop where we'll earn a commission off everybody that buys their product, because we were in a new field called trauma, and that trauma field was it had a lot of people that wanted help, and we didn't have a problem.
So that's really smart. And one of the things that I can tell you, that if you can do this, if it's working well and you're making money, become an equity partner. Like literally become an equity partner, because the only way that they can ensure working with you long term, you can become an equity partner in their company. And that gives you, because you're branding them. So it's great. Like I love affiliates, but I love owning equity in companies even more, right? And you can have an attorney draw it up, and you provide whatever you need to provide for that partnership to be great. But why not own more than just the percentage that the traffic you generate? You guys, if you control the email list and the text message list, the traffic of people, you control everything. You want to build your network of people in your industry, build an email list. Go to trainmeshanda.com, right? Like build an email list, like no kidding, and a text message list, because everybody answers their text, right? And I highly recommend you do that, and then get really good at learning email marketing, right? And even Bob, like we are studying even more about email hygiene right now, right? And so it's like whole nother Shanda on demand about that. And if you guys want me to do a training on that and bring somebody up, an expert, to talk about email hygiene, because it's a big deal, put the word email in the comments, because if it's a relevant topic, I will bring some of our consultants in and have them come speak to you guys, right? So put email in the chat if you want me to generate that content for you, because it'll take me some work to go do that, okay? Now, Bob, this is just me giving to you, and obviously anybody listening, I love the transparency of Shanda on Demand. Like the whole purpose is like this real freaking talk, right? Go if you are clear the person is phenomenal and the product really works, and they have got a company that if you poured into them over the next 2-3 years and really got bullish, that you'd own a percentage of that company, whether it's 10%, 5%, 20%, whatever, right? Like figure it out. Where now you own a percentage of the company without you putting up capital. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? So of all of the company, not just what you generate, of all of the company. Now with your brain, you're going to start going, and all I'm doing, you guys, is looking at Bob's leadership, right? Like the more Bob pulls out of the weeds and moves into these type of roles, like these CEO style roles, the more he can look at who are the strategic partnerships for that company. Do you know what I mean? And how do we blow it up or add more products to that company so that it grows? Like you start to whiteboard it, right? And Bob, that's a great VIP day for you and I to do together, right? Is to whiteboard that overall growth strategy plan. But buying companies is one of the best growth strategies ever. It's a great money strategy, but it's a great growth strategy. So you're looking at what is their customer base already, big or small? What is the profitability of the company? Right? And what is the long term? So you acquire for different reasons. Sometimes you acquire for another product, sometimes you acquire for their customer base, but you can actually do it. You can actually do it without putting money out. It could be an earn out, or it could be just a straight marketing agreement. Right. So I'm going to challenge you to play with that and start
Okay. All right.
I knew
Sounds
you, and
good.
so you're going to start whiteboarding this stuff, and you're going to start getting excited about it, right? And now
Yeah.
the whole game changes versus just an affiliate commission, because anybody we affiliate with, if we're affiliating with them long term, well, we're branding them. Do you know what I mean? And if we stop working with them, they still have the momentum of all of that moving forward. It's the same with you. Because you own the email list, the text message list, it's always growing. You've gotten very good at marketing, you're very strong, and you're also an incredible expander. And I know that there's some other people who are actually here watching that are similar. Bob finished telling us the secret process. Was there anything else with that process of partnering that you left out?
Yes. So part two of that was this. So as you're going through, you're talking to your clients, right? You're talking to your potential speakers. Some of them have big email lists. We just talked about that. Some of them have small email lists, right? Or they have big email lists, and and you can see their opt-in pages of their free gifts suck, or they're using MailChimp or something like that. And you know that they're not marketers, that you can do way better than they. Those are the people you partner with. But the people you like if you want to find a diamond in the rough, like I did with Alma, right? And you're on the phone with somebody who has 500 or 1,000 people on their list, but they have a great program and they've been selling it for the last several years. They've proven, it's proof of concept is done, right? It's working, but they have a real small list and they don't know what they're doing and they have no clue about marketing. Those are the people that you can partner with. Those people are like ready to go. They need someone like you to step in and run summits. And you don't need to know anything about it. I came at it from the standpoint of I have no idea what's going on with ADHD. Neither do any of these moms that are looking for solutions. So I'm asking the same questions they'd be asking. And so, I mean, if I'm an expert in it, I'm not even aware of the questions that I should be asking that they want to ask. But as a person who knows nothing about it, I can ask those questions because I'm learning about it. And I had the top people on right off the bat, and I didn't know it. I was just looking on Amazon for the people who had the books, right, and the best books. And I brought those people on, and that's really how I would do it. If I was coaching someone to do it, I would say find the people that had 1,000 or 2,000 people on their list. They don't know what they're doing in marketing. They don't even qualify for your summit, but they have a product they've been selling for years, and it works. And start marketing their product.
So good. So good. So you guys, Bob Dietrich did our list building program. He's in Meant to Be Live. He's an incredibly smart person. He also works in our coaching department. He's transforming the world. He, like I would say, Bob, you're probably one of the more brilliant minds. And I just can't wait to even see where you're going to be in 3 years from now with the empire. You also have such a giving heart. And I was just I'm reading a book right now. It's okay if you guys don't like Jesus, but I love his leadership. We know the guy lived, right? So I'm reading this book called Jesus on Leadership, and it talks about what you embody, which is this essence of service. So even if I was an atheist, I'd read that book. Like even if I was an atheist, I would read that book. Because the level of doors that open up when you can actually see people, empathize with people, and know how to lead them is off the charts when you can actually produce a movement. And I think, Bob, you have the potential of producing just an incredible movement. You're able to spot diamonds in the rough. You're able to humble yourself to really look at what does the customer need and what is the content provider need, and be able to put that together. The way he built the list is we taught him how to build the list. And now he's helped teach many entrepreneurs, because Bob and I are both on the same mission, which is how do we help the middle class get more money in their homes, get out of the middle class and get into and get into the right neighborhoods, right? Like to have enough money that you never worry about it ever again. Like you don't look at price tags anymore. And that's moving out of the middle class, right? And so we partner together in doing that here inside of Hardcore. So you guys, so much love to you. Bob, thank you for coming on Shanda On Demand. You guys, tomorrow is Friday. I had to look. It's Friday tomorrow. And I'm going to stretch you guys tomorrow around generating cash flow tomorrow. I'm going to stretch you on generating cash flow. I've got all of next week's content right here, believe it or not, on an index card. And next week, I'm going to talk to you about how I start my week, because next week is going to be all about productivity. How many of you guys know that you need to get better at productivity? Yes or no? Go in the chat and just say yes or no. How many of you guys know that you need to get better at productivity? Yes? Yes. You have to be able to optimize your day. And so next week, I have a whole series of things on how do you squeeze more juice out of your week. So I'm going to push you to produce next week, and I'm going to stretch you tomorrow to actually generate some money before the weekend. So be coachable, be ready to go. Share this live. Please share this live. If you're on a shareable platform right now, share this live or forward it or copy the link and send it or text it to somebody that you know needs to listen to this. And I will see you tomorrow on Shanda On Demand at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.